What's going on? It's your boy, Brother Allen. I'm back with another one. First, let's give honor to God, alright, from whom all blessings flow. Alright, now, real quick, I want to get a disclaimer. I do not work for this company called Whitecap. I just had the shirt and I'm wearing it for work today. So, my views do not represent the company Whitecap. Alright, I am not an employee of that and I do not speak for that company. Alright, just wearing the shirt. Alright, now, let's get right into it. I want to hone in and talk about the responsibilities of who leads and who guides the woman. All right, because it popped up in the conversation that I had yesterday, and I want to really hone in on that, on the responsibilities of who should be leading a woman. All right, now, and this. All right, first of all, when I talk in the points of I come in with good faith. All right, so I'm not talking to. So when I talk, I'm not saying that, oh well, the men are bad or this, or talking about you finding a bad woman. I'm a Christian-based man. I am not Christian-based. I'm a Christian man. And when I talk about men, I'm talking about a man as in a good, biblically God-fearing man. And when I talk about a woman, I'm talking about a nice, traditional, God-fearing woman. And I'm talking about a traditional God-fearing man. All right. So, and one of the problems that I had with a lot of females, and I think, as far as talking to females about relationships, is that a lot of them come in with bad faith on men. Okay. Now, when I say a woman chooses a man, okay, yes, the man gets down on one knee. The man has access to marriage. But a woman can say no, right? A woman has to choose whether or not she accepts that man's invitation. All right, let's get that off the break. A woman has to choose. Nobody forces a woman into a marriage. Anytime I force a woman to do anything romantically or intimate that she doesn't want to do, now we're in the category of what's called SA. Okay, SA. And if you don't know what that means, Google it. But when you start talking about that, forcing a woman to do something against her will that's intimate or romantic or sexual, that is SA. Every woman has to choose whether or not she wants to be with the man that she's going to be with. And today, women in modern society had the most freedom of choice that we've ever had. Okay? We got the most freedom of choice that women have ever had. Whereas in traditionally, all throughout human history, we've had what's called arranged marriages. Now, what does that mean? Holy smokes! Does that mean that at the age of 3, my family's going to pick somebody for the woman to marry and all this, that, and the other? No. I'm not talking about that type of arranged marriage. What I'm talking about is, and even really, those work a lot longer. But what I'm talking about, even in Western culture, even probably, let's say 1950s, let's say that a woman is it likes a man likes a woman. After a while, once they become serious, they're going to want to introduce you to their parents, and that man had to make a good impression with that woman's parents. All right, he had to dress nice, he had to look nice, he had to speak respectfully. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. such and such. And he had to win over the approval and the favor of that man's parents, especially the father. And if the father wasn't feeling him, then he was not allowing his daughter. He was not going to give that man his daughter's hand in marriage, and not even allow that man to see him. And he guarded and protected his daughter and helped her with her decision. And let's say that even if he liked her, but she didn't, it wouldn't work out, right? There had to have been some type of agreement between the daughter and the father, and with input from her mother, as far as does she want to marry this man? Is this man a suitable candidate to spend the rest of his life with and carry on the lineage of the family through this man. All right. Now that is the traditional ways, but we thrown all that aside for strong, independent feminism. Don't need no man to tell me how to think. I can decide for myself. Women can decide for themselves. Now what we have is women have total absolute freedom without any rings attached, and they can choose to be with any man, any woman that they want to be with nowadays. They're even choosing women. All right. So, and we see the results that we have since then. Since the 1960s, when things started going more independent and rogue, and basically you started getting the modern America and the culture that we have today, especially in this liberal culture. We have women can choose anybody that they want. And who are they choosing? Well, just listen to these videos. Just listen to your homegirls talk about men. Overhear the conversations that women are having about men. Okay? A lot of times they complain about the men that are out there. Why? Is it because so many men are messed up? Okay? Well, is it because so many men are breaking up homes? Is it because so many men are abandoning and walking out of their children? Look, guys, ladies, it's not the 1990s anymore. Okay? Divorce is at all-time high rates, and guess who's filing it? Almost about 90% of the time, it is females filing the divorce. Those are the facts. You don't believe me? Check the court documents. All right, I doubt if the judges are lying about their rulings and things and findings and all of that. Check the family court documents. Check the stats in the Census Bureau. Divorces are overwhelmingly done by women. They're breaking up the families. I'm not coming for women because of that, even though we definitely should, and I do address that. But I'm just saying that it's not the men that are breaking up the families, it's women breaking them up because they don't like the men that they chose to be with. And that's my point. That's facts. All right. And then here comes the thing with, oh, well, the men should be leading the women in the relationship and all of this, that, and the other. That's true. But it's a lot more easier. You gotta remember, in marriage, a father hands off the daughter's hand in marriage to the husband. That's symbolic of she was under my care. And it's not just symbolic, it's literal too. She was underneath of my care and my covering. And now I'm giving you a way to your husband to be under his care and under his covering. All right? So, in the youth, and here's the heart of this lesson that I'm trying to teach right here. In a woman's youth, from her birth all the way up into the day she's with another man, she is to be under her father's covering. Even if she has her own place and decide to move out, she is to be under her father's covering until he gives her away in marriage. Then she is underneath of her husband's covering. So the men out there gotta do their part and raise women to not be 304s, to not be easy, to not be spreading their legs and having premarital love affairs and getting pregnant, and premarital women need to stop having these children outside of wedlock. And the fathers need to teach the men that, and the men have to stop impregnating women outside of wedlock. The very few that are getting pregnant, because actually most men don't have children. Only I think they say about 20 to 30% of men have children. So it's that 20-30% that the women keep sleeping around with that are having and impregnating all of these women and having all these children. But it don't matter if you got 100% of the men that stop having children out of wedlock. If 1% of men, or if just one man can go all around and impregnate as many as we want. So we could talk to the men all we want, but it's even more so on the women that they got to stop having these babies out of wedlock, because they could literally, one man can repopulate the world in about like 10 years or something like that. All right. So fathers, we got to do better with teaching and raising good, godly women. Women got to keep them thighs shut to the men that you're not married to, and stop having babies out of wedlock, so that we can have two-parent strong family households. When we had two-parent family households, we did a lot better. We did a lot better in schools when we had a lot less. All right. So that's just my spiel right there. I want you to go ahead, like the video for support. Go ahead, comment what you think. Even if you don't like the video, comment. I want to know. And then also go ahead, subscribe, so that you can get the latest updates on new videos that I post. And go ahead and share this with somebody who you think should hear this information. Peace and God bless.